Hi everyone, welcome to Somei Fitness TV in the Ask My Physical Therapist segment. And I'm here with Jenny Winters. She's a licensed physical therapist and she's the owner of Triumph Physical Therapy. And today is, since the weather is getting cooler in Scottsdale, Arizona, people want to be more outdoors to exercise. So one of the easiest way to be active is to go running, and you just need a pair of shoes. Out the door, and out the door you go, right? And sometimes whether you're a weekend runner or training for a race, and sometimes we tend to repeat the same mistakes over and over again, and we get injured. So today our segment is all about running, and so I'll be asking Jenny, who's our physical therapist, what are some running injuries you commonly encounter in your practice as a physical therapist?
The most common is probably issues with the IT band. So IT band tightness, you've got the friction syndrome where they get the sharp kind of stabbing pains on the outside of the knee. Calf strains or Achilles tendonitis is also another common one if you're doing not necessarily flat or level running, doing some incline or trails. And then plantar fasciitis is another big one too.
Yes, I just had my IT band, what do you call that, cup
Oh yeah.
yesterday.
Yeah. That's
So I still
good.
have some marks, and I felt it. I felt some adhesion there. It seems like it's all stuck together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and what does it do when your IT band, is it when you're running, does it make the IT band tighter, or is it what's happening there?
Yeah, so the IT band is like a really thick plastic almost. So you can't actually stretch the IT band. Muscles that attach into it. You've got the TFL on the front of the hip, and then the glutes in the back that kind of come in at an angle, and then the IT band continues down to the knee. So the best thing you can do to improve IT band issues is to actually stretch that TFL and the glute.
Yeah.
It's going to give you a little bit less tension on the IT band, and then if you foam roll or do cupping, you feel those adhesions when they're working the IT band. You can work the attachments where the lateral quad and the IT band meet to kind of break up some of those fascial restrictions there, and also on the hamstring side too.
When you say glute, it's at the minimus, the small one, or the medius?
Gluteus medius.
The medius? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
So I noticed how I tends to get tight there,
Yeah.
in that
Yep.
area.
So if you're tight or weak and you're doing more running, you're gonna probably feel those symptoms in the IT band.
Yes. Is there such a thing as injury-free running? Do you find those people? Are they a rare breed?
Yes and no. For the people who solely do running, chances are eventually you're going to have some type of injury. To be able to maintain distance running or running most days of the week,
Yeah.
you've got to maintain strength training, stretching, mobility, myofascial
Yes.
release stuff. So you can be injury free, but you've got to put in more time than just running
Yes,
to stay
yes.
injury free.
So you cannot just depend on running as
No. Nope.
yeah, you need like strength. You mentioned strength training
Yeah.
and some
Uh-huh.
body work,
Yeah, so you really,
Yes.
with running, it's very symmetrical. So you need to make sure your right glute is as strong as the left glute, hamstrings,
Yeah.
everything is symmetric.
yeah, because there could be some imbalance.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like for me, like I'm more of a weekend runner. I'm not like doing 20 miles a week or
Yeah.
so. That what sorts of problems do you encounter with those people who are just weekend runners? Let's say 40-hour work week, sitting in a chair. Then I'm gonna run in the weekend. What do you notice in those types of clientele?
So those, it may be more of like an overuse thing. If you're, especially with the weather getting nicer, people that are just gonna go out and go for a longer run.
They get
initially and
excited.
Not build up to it. So those, it can be kind of the knee pain. You can get some of the tendonitis stuff from overuse. But yeah, the slow progression, slow build up for distance and speed is very important for new runners too.
Okay, thank you, Jenny. And I was reading the Harvard Gazette. They said that between 30 to 75% of runners are hurt annually.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Uh-huh.
And so is it more biomechanical alignment? Is it more the heel strike? Is it for the way they strike their heel, or is it the shoe? What do you think is the causes of that?
No one correct form for everyone, or no one correct shoe for one person. The quickest and easiest cue to kind of give someone to decrease the risk of injury is working on their cadence. So how many steps you take per minute. The target, and it's not necessarily perfect for everyone, is 180 steps a minute. That's going to decrease your vertical oscillation, so it decreases your kind of force or compression up through your joints with every single stride. So if you can just, a lot of watches now have it if you wear your watch running, or if you just count how many footsteps you have in 15 seconds and then multiply that by 4.
Okay, that's an easier way to do
it should be 180. To make it even easier, just count how many times your right foot hits in 15 seconds, and that should be 90.
Those
So
are
yeah.
nice practicals too.
Yeah, and those are easier. That's an easy way to change your form a little bit too.
So to have more visual of that, so you're gonna see me run on the treadmill later on and criticize my running form. So what are some like self-assessment that people can do to find out whether they lack the mobility in their ankle, or is there something they could do just from home?
Yeah. I think one of the best things to do is have someone video you running, because you will see a lot of times an imbalance in how one foot is striking the ground, or how much you're bending one knee, or you're kind of wobbling farther to one side than the other side. So that can be a first cue that maybe symmetrically there's a few things off there.
How about I hear sometimes when some of my clients running, or some of them like loud when they land their foot. Is that good or bad? Like when you're hitting loud from being compared to some people are just quiet. They're just kind of gliding.
Yeah. So the runners that strike on their toes are generally a little bit quieter. Heel strikers are a little bit louder. The people that are even just louder still,
I know.
they lack that kind of absorption strength, so that controlling that impact to the ground. So it could be a little bit of a weakness showing as well.
Is that a weakness in their fascia or in their ankle, or
muscles? Like the eccentric strength, kind of the loading.
Yeah, it's like, man, it's like an elephant, boom, boom. And it's just not heavy, but boom, boom, boom. It's. Can you lighten your? Thanks so much for watching. So later on, we're gonna see some practice how to run properly on the treadmill.
All right, so we're gonna watch Steve run today, kind of critique what we see, any potential risks for injury. Normally with my patients, I video them from the back and the side, and then we'll go over everything in slow motion. But we're gonna do everything live today. Okay, so once the patient kind of gets into their groove, they feel comfortable with their running speed. Things that I'm looking for initially are how they're contacting the ground. Are they hitting on their heel with both feet, or is one side more of a toe contact, one side's the heel? Does it sound the same? Are they contacting harder on one side than the other? And then also their stride length or step length. Are they taking a little step with one foot and a longer step with the other side, trying to compensate for anything there? Moving up then from the feet, looking at how much clearance they have. So how much is he bending his knee as he swings his foot through. And then at the hips too, from the side, you can kind of see, is he getting any hip extension on both sides, or is that an issue causing rotation with any of his rotation? When we look from behind, we can see, are his toes turning out? On both sides, is it maybe just one side because he doesn't have enough ankle mobility there? The alignment of his ankles, is he collapsing in or getting too much pronation? We can assess or address that with shoes with more stability or some glute strengthening exercises. And then moving up from behind, we're looking at the level of his hips. So when he's standing on his right leg, are his hips still level or does it drop on the left side? Arm swing too can tell us some stuff if he's got decreased rotation one direction versus the other. Overall, he sounds very symmetric on both sides. From my angle, his stride looks about equal on both sides. Maybe a little bit of external rotation of his left foot. Could be some calf tightness, some decreased ankle mobility stuff there. But otherwise, he looks pretty symmetric there. Do you have any pain or discomfort running right now?
No.
Okay.
So far it's good.
So sometimes too, if they've got pain, they're gonna avoid it. So that can tell us some of the patterns that we see too.